I think me and you both have had like Amberana barrel aged stuff.
That's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Or it can be Fireball, you know.
They got to make Fireball aged in Amberana barrels. We're going to trademark that real quick.
Yeah.
Man. Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I'm Jason.
Jordon.
And Matt's not here. We're back again for another review. Matt has left us. He's in Tennessee and says, screw you all, figure it out. So, you know, he did give us the secondary mic, so thanks a lot, Matt, I guess, but whatever. So
We'll
today, we'll figure it out. Country boys will survive, Jordon. I think Hank Jr. said that, you know. So we're going to do a review today. This one is a bourbon review, actually American Light Whiskey review from Penelope. This is their 17-year-old American Light Whiskey. And thank you very much for sharing it with us.
Hey, thank you for grabbing it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So yeah, I mean, looking at this one, so let's talk MSRP first. So it's $100 MSRP, but you got this at Total Wine, and it was under $100 after tax. So we talked about this off camera, but I don't think they even knew what they had at Total Wine, right?
Yeah, you know, a lot of places have been putting this, and rightfully so, on their allocated list.
Sure.
It's 17 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
You don't see this kind of aged American whiskey every day.
Yeah, it's getting some hype, I think, not necessarily in the secondary realm, but it's getting some hype with some of the bourbon nerds. There's a lot of guys buying multiples of this.
There's a local guy,
Woodford bourbon guy. I know he's had
I thought I would never have a chance to even grab one of these bottles locally because that guy has like 40 bottles of this.
Yes, I mean, it's been out a little bit. It actually released in January of this year officially. But I think you got this bottle in October. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
they just randomly threw it on the shelf at Total Wine.
But again, we don't see things. So people think that we live in Kentucky, right? So we're in Lexington, Kentucky, Georgetown, Kentucky. They think we're living in bourbon wonderland, and they're right about it's made here. But our ability to get limited bottles is not great. Like you have to really work to get them.
No, you gotta think about it. We're in the bourbon homeland, and we have tons of people that are visiting this state.
Ohio, Tennessee,
just all over the country, really.
Get a little shout out.
You know, their main objective when they come to visit is buy every specialty bottle that they can't get in their home market, and rightfully so. I do the same thing for beer when I go visit a brewery somewhere, right? So that makes it sometimes for local Kentuckians, unless you have a hookup or have friends that can give you some hints about when stuff's dropping or when stuff's coming out, it makes it pretty hard because you're either going to pay really high above MSRP to get a bottle that every Kentuckian that's into bourbon wants that bottle.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to either pony up and pay more money for that bottle, or you're going to just have to know when to go grab it because somebody told you it's there, pretty much.
100% agree with you. So let's talk a little bit about this one. So it's 138.8 proof. Again, released in January of this year. We didn't get it till October. The mash bill is 99% corn, 1% malted barley. This is not a bourbon. This is an American Light Whiskey. Make sure everybody knows that one. This was distilled at Seagram's in Indiana, which is MGP, but at that point, it was 2006. It was still called Seagram's. It was aged in second fill oak barrels. So I don't know what they were, though. I tried to find out, like, could they tell us a name of what they were? There was nothing. So just second fill oak barrels. MSRP, again, is $100. Secondary, $160 to $200. So it's kind of like fluctuating back and forth. It's been very well received, I think, from the whiskey or bourbon world. Secondary values limited. The oddest thing about this, I think, so in 2023, so 2 years ago, they did a 15-year-old light whiskey release. That price was $130 MSRP.
Yeah.
This one is 2 years older, higher proof, and $30 less.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, like, do you think MGP might have saw some writing on the wall?
Well, so let's talk about that because MGP is a publicly traded company.
Yep.
And MGP bought Penelope. Penelope was started by And I wish we had some more backstory on these guys, but it's a couple of guys from New Jersey that started this brand, and I think it's actually named after one of their daughters.
Okay.
That's why it's called Penelope.
I never knew that.
I believe. Facts are optional.
Facts are definitely optional, yes.
But according to stuff I've read online, this is MGP's only growing brand that they now own. So I think they're saying, you know what? It's a growing brand. People are buying every single Penelope. Like there's Penelope collectors. I'm not a collector. I'm a drinker. But I have a lot of Penelope. I can confirm
that, actually, yes. Yeah.
I have a lot of Penelope bottles that I really enjoy. That, and mainly the estate collection. And I think they have no problem selling this at $100. But also, you know, the 15-year was special. I've never had the 15-year.
I haven't either.
They were so hard to come by around here that I never made the effort to ask out of the state to grab a bottle.
That's when they started getting hype. Yeah. So on this American Light Whiskey in 2023, the 15-year-old one, that's where the hype came in for this like American Light Whiskey. They did one in 2021 that was a 13-year-old. They got no hype. I never heard about it. I don't think I heard about it at all. Maybe like a passing press release or something. But 2023 got a lot of hype, and then this one, it's been getting a lot too.
And at Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year, they did a special drop of a 20-year-old.
Oh, wow.
American Light Whiskey.
Okay.
And you had to be, you know, part of the VIP ticket holders to be able to get a chance to buy a bottle.
That seemed to be a cluster. What I wouldn't mind doing an episode on that. I didn't go, never been, but hearing a lot of tales from people there and seeing some of the videos, I don't know that I'd want to fight that.
You know, it's a burden, like, to do all the line waiting and stuff like that. But if I was able to walk away with a bottle that hadn't had a mass release, like a 20-year-old American Light Whiskey, or even
but the Camp Nelson E from Wild Turkey, that'd been pretty cool if you'd got one of those.
Yeah, if they would.
I don't know if they had it there.
Nah, I don't think they did. Yeah. No way. But they also had like a 14-year-old rye whiskey, American Light Whiskey, not rye, American Light Whiskey, but they had a 14-year-old rye whiskey estate collection released too. That was only released at KBF. So,
and honestly, like MGP rye is some of my favorite rye, the 95.5 blend. But
they had long lines and like kind of what we were talking about. Penelope's building up some hype on their kind of more limited bottles.
100%. 100%. You went to the release at the distillery recently.
Yeah, I went to the estate collection dinner there because I loved last year's estate collection so much. And I know a lot of people kind of thought it was kind of, you know, but for my tastes, I mean, I bought backup bottles of the Private Select, and I love that one. The 9-year from last year. This year's 10-year Private Select is awesome as well. And then they even had some Heaven Hill juice in this year's estate collection. Yeah. So I'm excited to try some of that too.
I think one thing I'll say about you, and not kissing your ass online here, but you tell it how it is, right? So you're not chasing hype just to chase hype.
No.
So if you like something, you like it, right? And then the other thing, I really enjoy drinking with you because your palate, the way you pull out flavors and shit, I'm like, man, I didn't think of that, but I get it. So go ahead.
Oh, you know, for me, I was into bourbon 10, 12
more
years ago.
More than that, yeah.
More than that. I got out of bourbon because I couldn't buy the bottles I wanted.
Yeah.
And it just became like a burden to like hunt down those bottles that I wanted. But what got me back into bourbon was actually the craft distilleries and finishing.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool turn that these distilleries have taken. And Penelope does finish as well. The Valencia bottle, I love that bottle. Their Cooperage series has a lot of finishes. So they got the Rio, that's honey and amberwana. This year,
Havana is what this one is, or something.
Havana has rum and maple syrup. Valencia is
orange curacao or something.
No, it's like an orange wine barrel.
Okay. VDN
barrels, yeah. And Tokaj.
I think it's Tokai, but it's spelled Tokagi or
I actually haven't
AJI.
had that one, but I've heard it's really good.
Well, you had the Bardstown one that was finished. Remember when we tried that one? So,
and I think that's what drew me into Penelope initially, back when I got back into bourbon, and ever since then, I just think I'm an MGP lover through and through.
Same.
Like,
we actually got to do a barrel pick there.
Yes,
wasn't a great barrel pick, but it was a cool experience.
Yeah, it wasn't a great, but that's all they had to offer.
That was a Remus brand, which I would not recommend buying, but
yeah. That was right before COVID happened.
Yep, very close.
Very awesome facility they have there, and but I'll say this, MGP. A lot of people poo-poo them away because their whiskey is sourced for so many developing brands out there.
Yep.
But they make such great quality product that you can blind buy it. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a little bit about some brands like River Roots, right, out of Cleveland up there, and NDP doing some awesome things. Yeah. And we've had some from our friends at the Mashup podcast with Anthony, Kenny, Steven. Some of their picks they've done, their single barrel picks, have been fantastic.
Yeah. And
I think me and you both probably lean towards the rye.
Yeah.
We had that, was it Krampus or Naughty or Nice or some shit last year?
Yeah.
That was a fantastic one.
I got it in there, yeah.
Yeah, and then Anthony, I think he has a picture on one, you know, from there. But
and shout out Mashup.
Yeah.
Speaking of MGP, they're Nashville Barrel Company.
Yeah.
Worst barrel, second worst barrel, and that rye.
That was a Kelvin barrels, right?
Man, they are, and they're still available on Nashville Barrel Company's website. That second worst barrel is one of my top 5 bourbons of this year.
Yeah.
That I've drank. I'm going to buy backups of. It is absolutely awesome.
And then Anthony and Kenny, you can send that check to Arsenic Culture, care of Jason, for Jordon's plug right there.
I do love it though. It is awesome.
No, I agree. Good stuff. So, tasty notes a little bit about this. Anything you'd pick out from the nose? I'm not getting a ton from the nose. Might be where it's a little colder too.
I think in American light whiskeys, you're not going to get a ton from the nose anyway.
No, I agree with that. So, what about taste though? What are you picking out some flavors on this one?
It is very sweet.
It is, which I enjoy.
Very sweet. A little honey.
Mm-hmm.
Little honey. Big vanilla sweetness. It does not drink its proof to me.
No, it's 138.8. I would say it drinks 115.
I mean, it is a smooth sipper for the proof.
Yeah. So American light whiskey and tasty notes for me. I mean, I'm getting like a brown sugar a little bit, but again, sweet, right? So some American light whiskey. What do you know about that? You know anything about it?
I know a little bit about it. I think initially it was invented back during
1960s
when the clear liquors started taking over as like the fancy kind of hot drink because health and fitness or lifestyle was just like, forefront of society then. Maybe not health and fitness because they smoked a lot, but,
well, they didn't think it was bad for you back then. But in the late 1960s, that's when it came out. So they were competing with lighter spirits, exactly what you said, gin and vodka. They wanted to offer a milder flavor than bourbon. So if you think about light whiskey, the main difference I would say between it and bourbon, one of the main differences is bourbon, you have to be in a new charred barrel, right? Like when you put a bourbon in a barrel, it has to be a new barrel, newly charred. For light whiskey, you can do a new barrel, but most of them do second, third use barrels. It does not have to be the new char. The difference in that's a color for me and flavor too, but for a new charred barrel, you're going to get a lot more color from that, from the char, right? So if you're a second use barrel, even though it's 17 years old, this is lighter than a Jim Beam product or a Heaven Hill product because it's a second use barrel. Sure. You're not going to get as much of that char coming through.
And, talking about the second use barrels, it kind of comes together on the flavor for me. Mm-hmm. This kind of tastes like a toasted barrel finish bourbon.
Agreed.
And you get like a little bit of sugar cane in it. When you snap that sugar cane, you got that. I don't even know what you call the fibers.
Essence.
The fibers.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're getting in this. You get super, like if you like sweet bourbons, this is right up your alley.
So sugarcane, I mean, similar to it's rum, right? So you think of that.
And
so
it's not over oaked. Like it's
No.
17 years old, and you're not getting oak astringency on this at all because of the second use barrels.
I can see why our local guy, Jay, Woodford Bourbon guy, I think I can see why he got a lot of these because honestly, I'm digging it.
Yeah,
I'm digging it.
it's good.
So very good. Another thing about American Light Whiskey, there's no mash bill requirements. You can do whatever you want, right? So this one's like 99% corn. You can do that.
Is it all about? Is it all about barrel entry proof with light whiskeys? I think.
Yeah, that too. So you can do most of these go 160 to 190 barrel entry proof. With bourbon, it can't be above 160.
Yeah.
So you kind of get unlimited on that side. Plus, you get the barrel, whatever barrels you want.
And this might be off script, but
Well, we don't have a script, so you're good.
Did that change? Kind of recently, the entry proof for bourbon.
Not that I'm aware of. I thought it's always been.
Oh,
that.
you know what it was? I think Wild Turkey started changing their entry proof on their bourbon
because they're very low entry proof. They've always been a low one.
Yeah, but I think it changed.
It went higher,
like 20 or 15 years ago.
Okay,
and that's why some of their new LE products like Russell's
higher
15, I think. Bruce said on Bourbon Pursuit podcast. When he was pulling those out of the barrels, it was over 160 proof.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that always interests me, and I'd love to talk to a master distiller or Bruce Russell if you want to talk to me. But asking about like how if you make a bourbon, a whiskey, whatever, and you put it in the barrel at 130. How does it come up to 150? How does it go down to 110? Like
it's location in the rick house.
But I want to hear it a different perspective. I understand a little bit of the science, but I really want to hear what they're saying. Like, how does this? I know if it goes up, it's like concentration, right? Like you think of it that way.
Yeah.
But if it goes down, I guess it just absorbs into the wood and you get a little water from it. Again, we're off script, but it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, and listen, facts are optional. That could have been a complete lie.
Well, that wasn't a fact.
You know, I hear things and I just spit them out. What I recall.
No, I get it. So some of the official tasting notes on this one. Let's talk a little bit about that. Honeycomb.
Yeah,
I could see it. Creme brulee. Okay, I said brown sugar.
Big vanilla.
So I like that one.
Big vanilla.
Trail mix, which is an odd one.
Some nuttiness.
I don't know if I get that.
I don't get any nuttiness.
Like trail mix to me, you got like M&Ms and raisins and peanuts. You know what I mean? Like maybe some almonds. I don't know. They said cinnamon.
Maybe a little raisin. Maybe.
Okay, light. Maybe like the golden raisins.
Yeah.
Cinnamon. I don't get any cinnamon.
I think some people confuse oak dryness and astringency for cinnamon sometimes.
Okay. That's a fair point.
And I think it's always in tasting notes for older bourbon. But honestly, I think that's the oak playing a big part.
100%. I think me and you both have had like Amberana barrel aged stuff. So that's a huge cinnamon note, right?
That's cinnamon toast crunch. Cinnamon
and it can go bad quick, like too much cinnamon.
Or it can be Fireball,
You know what they got to do? They got to make Fireball aged in Amberana barrels. Why have they not done that shit?
Well,
we're gonna trademark that real quick.
Yeah,
maybe.
Buffalo Trace probably doesn't want to buy Amberana barrels.
That's true. Some other tasty notes: vanilla bean ice cream. Okay.
Well, vanilla for sure. It's a straight vanilla hitter. It
says light orchard fruit. I can see it.
Yeah.
Waffle cone. Yeah. Okay. That's their official tasting notes. So overall. So for $100, let's talk value. Would you buy it again for $100?
For sure. No second guessing.
I would buy 3.
That's for $100.
I would buy 3
for $100. If this was a semi-limited release, which it is.
Oh, it's annual. Yeah.
If I saw it on the shelf, I would buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have one open bottle and I'd have a backup.
Yeah. So if you compare this to, I mean, where else are you going to get a 17-year-old whiskey or bourbon for $100? And I don't know the answer. I don't know of any place.
Let me think about that for a second.
I don't think it's there. I don't think it's there at all. Look at like the worst one I can think of in my mind. No offense to you, Tennessee, but Dickel. The Dickel 17.
Some of the Dickel single barrels are like
they have been
15
good.
plus.
And they have been good, but no, they actually made a release of Dickel 17 in like a 375 or 500 milliliter several years ago. Awful. I mean, to my palate, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody.
That is one thing I would love to try because I've never had
Dickel?
old age Dickel.
No. I've had 17.
I've heard some people really love it. I think people really want it to take off,
The reason they probably want to take off, there's a ton of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I bet they have stock of that shit. So
yeah. I think it's like that with every bourbon. I think once it hits a certain age, people that hated it will actually love it. And then people that loved it at that age might not even like it once it gets that old.
Well, you think of Pappy, right? So the Van Winkle stuff. You look at Pappy 23.
Yeah.
Have you had that one before?
Yeah.
It's over oaked. It's like licking an oak stave to me.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. It's not a bad bourbon. It's just I would never pay even retail for that unless I'm buying it to sell it. I mean,
15,
to be honest.
15's the way to go on the Pappy one.
15, 20.
20's great.
I like 10 better than 12,
Old
like
Rip,
the heat.
Old Rip, between the Lot B and Rip 10 every day.
Yeah.
And then you got the 13-year rye.
The rye's fantastic.
Yeah.
Rye's fantastic.
It's a good way, though, to look at. And we were talking about Knob Creek earlier. I've heard, people that didn't like 18, they actually love the 21. So that's like a swing in the different direction, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, maybe the lower proof point, maybe for them, and even with Knob Creek, talking Jim Beam now, even when they used to do their single barrel strengths at 120 always.
Yeah.
They would proof it down or whatever. Now they're doing it above, just barrel strength.
But it's not even
But the highest one I've seen is like 123. It's right there.
But some of them are not even 120.
Someone's 116, 117.
I don't even know how that happens. Like
that's what I want to talk to Master Stewart about.
So I kind of get like going back in my head about it. Those barrels that are not at least 120 were probably never a part of the Knob Creek single barrel program.
Correct.
And now they are. Because I've seen some cash strengths that are like 118, 119.
Yeah.
And people love them. So
I bet it's great. I mean, it's like Four Roses. We're jumping all over the place now, but Four Roses has different tiers. So the higher the tier, up to 6, the higher the proof in general. So a tier 1 would be a lot lower proof than tier 6. So people chase at higher proof, but honestly, I've had more tier 1s that are great than I have tier 6s that are great. I love Four Roses.
All the Four Roses OGs that were into Four Roses will tell you the barrel strength, lower proof barrels are the best.
Yeah.
But on this side of things with this actually drinks like a lower proof and it's almost hazmat.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, we're 2 points away from hazmat, 1.2. So we both agree, $100, we're buying this all day, every day. Yeah. We would buy multiples for backup. So let's talk secondary. Secondary was called $175. So
damn,
I don't think that's crazy.
No,
it's roughly $10 a year, right? So would you buy it for $175?
No.
Honest answer.
Yeah.
I would buy one. I wouldn't have backups.
Yeah,
I think at $100.
I wouldn't buy it at $175.
How come?
It's because Total Wine might put it on the shelf for $100. No, but $175. If I've never had it, I'd pay for it.
But I wouldn't buy backups at that point.
No.
You know what I mean? There's other stuff out there, but for $100, I think it's pretty good. So let's rate it. Last thing, 0 to 5, 0.25 increments. What do you think on this one?
4.25.
Yep. I'm right at a 4 and a 4 1/4, but I'm going to go 4 1/4. So I think this one's, if you can find it, I mean, I know we're 9 months, 10 months into when it's supposed to have been released, but we didn't see it until last month.
Yeah. And I'm assuming so this release is getting ready to come back again next year.
In like 2 months.
I'm assuming it's going to be 18 to 20 on the next release. So get out there and buy it if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth, especially at MSRP.
For sure. So that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. Tell us what you think in the comments. And until next time, drink what you love and argue about the rest.